Chosen one. Stop for a moment and listen. Your arrival here is not an accident. It is not the product of an algorithm, nor is it the result of mindless scrolling. This moment has been orchestrated by heaven itself. You were led here to hear a message that carries divine urgency. Have you ever wondered why you always felt different? Why blending in never truly worked? No matter how much you tried, it is because you were never designed to disappear into the crowd. You are a vital piece of a greater plan. You are the unique fragment God has placed precisely here. Precisely now. There were days when you felt forgotten. Nights when you believed you were walking aimlessly, but every moment was preparation. Just as a seed must first be buried in darkness before it can sprout, you too have endured hidden seasons so your roots could grow deep in faith. Let me tell you a story. There was once a chosen one who walked through a long season of waiting. Prayers seemed unanswered. Time felt like a trap. They watched others move forward while they stood still. Yet in that very silence, obedience was being forged. Patience was being cultivated. And when God's time finally came, the door that opened could not be shut by anyone. The reward was greater than anything they had imagined. That same divine pattern is working in your life right now. It is declared in the book of Esther, chapter 4, verse 14. And who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this. These words were not only spoken over Queen Esther in her defining moment, they are also echoing over you today. You stand here because your time has come. The heavens have seen what you cannot yet see, and your name is being called forward. You are like a torch wrapped tightly in cloth. Darkness thought it had extinguished your flame, but in truth, the fire was never gone. Now the breath of God is blowing, and the flame within you is rising again. This light is not just for your path, but for those around you who are still stumbling in the shadows. You were not born to drift. You were born to lead. Your footsteps are carving a way for others to follow. And this is the moment for you to start believing it. If this word resonates in your spirit, take one simple yet powerful step like this message. Share it so others can awaken to their calling. And subscribe so you don't miss what heaven releases next. And as a prophetic act, type the number 111 inches, the comments right now. That number declares renewal, a new beginning, and the truth that you are positioned in the right moment by divine design. Chosen one. Remember this, you are not here by coincidence. You are here because heaven has something urgent to say to you. Chosen one. Every second of your journey has been building toward this encounter. Nothing has been wasted, not the tears, not the waiting, not even the silence. What felt like delay was actually design. What seemed like rejection was protection. Heaven has been weaving a story far greater than you realized. And now it begins to unfold before your eyes. This is not just another message. It is your confirmation. You are chosen for impact, chosen for breakthrough, chosen for this exact time. Carry this truth into your day. You are not wandering. You are walking a path written by God Himself. Step forward boldly, for your life is about to reveal its divine purpose. You have carried battles no one else has seen. The world only caught glimpses of your smile, your composure, the way you kept walking as though everything was fine. But the hidden story of your nights tells something far deeper. Sleepless hours where your pillow carried tears. Moments when your mind screamed questions heaven seemed silent about. struggles you never dared to put into words because you feared no one would understand. These hidden battles have shaped you in ways visible victories never could. They have carved resilience in your soul. Like stone shaped by fire, you have been refined in silence. You are stronger than you appear, even to yourself. Many gave up under lighter burdens than the ones you carried. Yet, you are still here. That alone is proof of a strength greater than you realize. Sometimes you wondered, why me? Why must I walk through this? What you did not see was how heaven was watching. Each tear was recorded. Each prayer, whispered in exhaustion, was heard. Not one moment slipped unnoticed. The silence of God was never abandonment. It was the sacred classroom of trust. Think of David before he was king. The fields were his training ground. Alone, with sheep and shadows. He fought lions and bears when no one applauded. The victories were hidden, but they prepared him for the day he faced Goliath in front of a nation. Your hidden struggles carry that same weight. It is written in the book of Nahum, chapter 1, verse 13. Now I will break their yoke from off you, and will burst your bonds apart. This is the promise hovering over your hidden battles. The weight you carried is not meant to remain forever. The unseen chains that tried to silence you are destined to shatter. Your tears may have seemed powerless, but in the courts of heaven they have been evidence proof that you belong to the one who breaks yokes and tears apart the bonds of oppression. Imagine a vessel being forged. The heat rises until the metal glows, and the blacksmith strikes blow after blow. To the untrained eye, it looks like destruction, but to the master, every strike is precision. That has been your process. Life's strikes have not broken you, they have shaped you. There was a chosen one who lived through betrayal. Trusted friends turned cold, promises dissolved, and the loneliness was suffocating. Yet, in that valley, they discovered a strength. They never knew they had the strength to stand when all support fell away. That season did not destroy them. It built them into a voice that now encourages thousands. Your story carries the same potential. What has wounded you deeply can one day be the testimony that sets others free. You may not realize it, but your silent endurance has already spoken. There are people who watched you and drew courage from your perseverance. That is the paradox of being chosen. You influence even when you feel invisible. Your hidden tears are not wasted water. In heaven, they are collected as seeds. Seeds that will one day blossom into joy, restoration, and testimony. The sleepless nights were investments. The lonely prayers were deposits. The breaking moments were the planting of a future you cannot yet see. Chosen one. Hear this clearly. Your hidden battles are the evidence of your calling. They are not random punishments, not meaningless obstacles. They are divine training. Others may see only the surface, but God has seen the depths, and He has declared, nothing endured in faith is ever wasted. One day soon, what was hidden will be revealed, and you will understand why the battles had to be this way. You have been marked for a higher purpose, and that truth explains much of your journey. The rejection you faced, the misunderstandings, the way doors seemed to shut without reason. These were not signs of failure. They were signs of separation. Chosen ones are often pulled away from the ordinary because their destiny is not ordinary. Consider the story of Joseph. He was despised by his brothers, betrayed, sold, and forgotten in a prison cell. Yet every detour was secretly a divine route toward the palace. What seemed like abandonment was actually positioning. In the same way, your life's detours are not wasted paths. They are the hand of God leading you to where your influence will matter most. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Jeremiah. Chapter 1, verse 10. See, today I appoint you over nations and kingdoms to uproot and tear down, to destroy and overthrow, to build and to plant. And notice the progression before you build, before you plant. Something must first be torn down. This is why parts of your life felt dismantled. God was not destroying you. He was clearing the ground so that what He plants in you will stand unshakable. Think of it like a vineyard. Before new vines can thrive, the soil must be dug, the weeds uprooted, the stones removed. It looks messy, even destructive, but only then can the fruit grow in abundance. Your seasons of loss were the plowing seasons, preparing the soil of your soul. There was once a chosen one who endured years of being overlooked. They were passed over for opportunities, dismissed as insignificant, and even mocked for dreaming. Yet when their time came, all the preparation spoke louder than their words ever could. They stepped into the role with wisdom that only hardship could give. That same pattern is upon you. So, here is what I ask of you. Comment these 3 words below. I am chosen. And type it not as a ritual, but as a declaration. Each word pushes back against the lies that told you you were forgotten. Each word affirms the unseen truth that you are set apart. And as you write it, let your spirit rise and agree with heaven's design over your life. Your purpose is not small. You are not meant to exist quietly in the background. You carry an assignment that touches generations, whether you see it yet or not. And every hardship you endured is the evidence that you are carrying something weighty. Chosen one. You are walking proof that what the enemy tried to bury will still rise. The fire that pressed you has only revealed the gold within. And soon, the very people who doubted you will see what heaven saw all along. Your declaration, I am chosen, is more than words on a screen. It is a seed you are planting in faith. Seeds may look small, but in God's timing they become harvests that feed generations. Every time you repeat this truth, you are watering that seed and strengthening your spirit against doubt. Understand this: chosen does not mean comfortable. It means set apart, refined, and sometimes misunderstood. But what others cannot grasp, heaven has already confirmed. Your uniqueness is not weakness. It is the signature of your calling. So, carry this truth with courage. Each step you take from now on is not random, but prophetic. You are walking into a future written by God, and no opposition can erase what He has already spoken over you. There are moments in life when everything slows down, as if time itself bends to allow heaven's voice to be heard. This is one of those moments. What you may have dismissed as coincidence is, in truth, divine intervention. God interrupts the ordinary to deliver the extraordinary, and He is doing so with you right now. Think about the many times your plans unraveled unexpectedly. Perhaps an opportunity you longed for suddenly closed, or a relationship you thought was secure unexpectedly ended. At first, it felt like loss, but later, you began to see the hidden thread of protection. What you thought was disappointment was heaven shielding you from harm you could not see. This is how divine intervention often works, not with thunder and lightning, but with quiet redirection. as was spoken in the sacred texts of old. God often appeared in ways that startled people out of their routines. Moses was drawn to a bush, burning, yet never consumed. Samuel was awakened by a whisper in the night. Elijah heard not the earthquake or fire, but the still small voice. The pattern is clear. When God wants your attention, He breaks through the ordinary, and so it is with you. Right now, heaven is pausing your path, pressing upon your spirit, pulling your eyes upward. This is not simply inspiration, it is alignment. You are standing at a crossroad where delay could cost much, but obedience will release destiny. Let me tell you of another chosen one. They lived their life running from stillness, filling every silence with noise. Yet in the midst of a quiet morning, a sudden clarity broke over them. It was as if the world hushed, and a new direction was whispered into their heart. That one encounter shifted the course of their life entirely. They later realized it was God intervening, setting them on a path they would never have chosen on their own, but one that carried immeasurable fruit. The Apostle Paul wrote in the letter to the Hebrews, chapter 4, verse 12, "For the word of God is alive and active, sharper than any double-edged sword. It penetrates even to dividing soul and spirit, joints and marrow. It judges the thoughts and attitudes of the heart." This is what is happening right now. The word is cutting through distraction, slicing past the noise, and striking the deepest parts of your heart. That uneasy stirring you feel is not random. It is the blade of truth aligning your inner being with the will of God. Imagine standing on a mountain ledge. Below lies the valley you've already walked, filled with shadows and lessons. Ahead lies a vast horizon, unknown but bright. And behind you, the wind begins to push. That is divine intervention, heaven's hand urging you not to retreat, but to step forward. Intervention often feels uncomfortable because it interrupts your comfort zone. It disrupts patterns you've relied on, but disruption is mercy in disguise. Without it, you might settle for less than what you were born for. With it, you are propelled into the very place you belong. Chosen one. Divine interruptions are heaven's way of writing bold punctuation into your story. They remind you that you are not wandering aimlessly. You are being guided, redirected, and refined. What you sense right now is God's way of ensuring you cannot miss your appointment with destiny. So, embrace this pause, this whisper, this interruption. It is not here to harm you, but to position you. Destiny is unfolding, and heaven is making sure you notice. You carry a light that terrifies darkness. It is not something you always see, but the unseen world recognizes it instantly. This is why opposition often rises against you. The enemy is not attacking you because you are weak, but because you are dangerous to his plans. Think of how light works. Even the smallest flame can scatter a room full of shadows. A single candle in the deepest cave becomes the focus of every eye, simply because it refuses to be swallowed by darkness. That is what your presence is like. You are not here to blend into the night. You are here to pierce it. Every time you chose compassion over bitterness, you ignited that light. Every time you forgave when you could have retaliated, the glow grew stronger. Each act of endurance, each prayer whispered in the quiet, each tear turned into trust. It all became fuel for your flame. And now, your light has become a warning siren to every force of darkness. This one cannot be overcome. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms, chapter 27, verse 1. The Lord is my light and my salvation, whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life, of whom shall I be afraid? This scripture is not just ink on a page, it is your shield. The light within you does not come from human strength. It comes from the Lord Himself. That is why no shadow can swallow it. It burns with a fire the darkness cannot understand, and it cannot extinguish. I once heard the story of a chosen one who walked into a workplace filled with hostility. Gossip circled, envy spread like smoke, and negativity hung heavy. Yet this person refused to bend. They carried peace like a lantern in their hands. At first, they felt isolated, misunderstood. But slowly, the atmosphere shifted. Others began to seek them out for comfort, for wisdom, for calm. In the end, their light transformed the very environment that once resisted them. Chosen one. This is your story too. Your very presence disrupts the plans of darkness. Even when you feel small, the light you carry speaks volumes. And when you join your light with others, the glow multiplies, pushing back shadows further and faster. Now let me speak to your heart with an image. Picture yourself holding a torch on a dark mountain path. You walk carefully, but the fire in your hand not only guides you, it guides others who follow. Some stumble, some hesitate, but your light reassures them. The path is safe. When you choose to lift your flame higher, more travelers see the way forward. That is what happens when you allow your voice, your actions, your presence to shine beyond yourself. It is like lifting the torch so others can walk with confidence. Sharing light is never forced. It is an act of love. So lift your light. Chosen one, do not hide what heaven has entrusted to you. When you choose to like, it is as if you are striking the flint, letting the first spark ignite. When you share, you are lifting your torch high on the mountain so others walking in darkness can see the path. And when you subscribe, it is like adding oil to your lamp, keeping the flame burning so it never fades. These are not commands, but invitations. Invitations to let your light become part of a circle of fire that grows wider with every flame added. The choice is yours, and it is beautiful. Chosen one, pause where you are. You may not realize it, but right now you are standing on sacred ground, not because of where your feet rest, but because heaven has stepped into this moment with you. When God draws near, even the most ordinary place becomes holy. Think back to Moses, tending sheep in the wilderness. Nothing about that day seemed unusual until fire danced on a bush without consuming it. A desert became a sanctuary. A shepherd's path turned into the gateway of destiny. The presence of God transformed the ground beneath his feet into holy ground. That is what is happening to you now. You may feel as if you are in a wilderness season. Life feels barren. Prayers seem dry, and silence stretches long. Yet, in that very place, God reveals himself. The wilderness is not punishment, it is the stage for encounters. Where everything else falls silent, his voice becomes clearer. The voice of God thundered in the book of Exodus, chapter 3, verse 5. Do not come any closer. God said, take off your sandals, for the place where you are standing is holy ground. And this was not simply a command for Moses, it was an invitation into reverence. To remove sandals was to acknowledge vulnerability, to let nothing stand between flesh and sacred soil. God was showing Moses that his presence is not casual, it demands awe. And he whispers that same call to you. Recognize the holiness of this moment. Picture your life as a canvas. To others it may look messy, full of half-finished strokes and unclear shapes. Yet when the master steps close, he declares that very canvas holy because he himself is working on it. The ground you walk on, though ordinary to the world, is sacred because heaven has claimed it as the place of transformation. There was a chosen one who felt forgotten. They had prayed for years and saw no visible shift. But one quiet morning, during a routine task, something changed. Their heart burned within them. A sense of divine nearness filled the room, and tears fell without reason. They realized later that was their burning bush moment. The ordinary became extraordinary because God chose to meet them there. Chosen one, let your spirit be awake. Do not rush past this pause. Holiness is pressing in on you now, and what you do with this moment matters. If Moses had ignored the flame, he would have missed the call that defined his life. In the same way, heaven is watching your response. Will you treat this as common, or will you bow in reverence? Sacred ground is not about location, it is about revelation. God's presence sanctifies the space, whether it is a desert, a living room, or the hidden corner of your heart. And when he calls a place holy, it is never the same again. As an act of faith, I invite you to mark this moment in the comments. Write the number 444. This is not just a number, it is a prophetic sign of divine alignment. 4 often represents stability, foundation, and completeness. When it is repeated 3 times, it declares that heaven, earth, and your calling are locking into agreement. By writing 444, you are declaring, my steps are ordered, my path is secure. What God has begun in me will not be shaken. I, chosen one. Sacredness is not distant. It is here. It is now. Heaven has bent low to touch your life, and the ground beneath your feet has become holy. There is a door that still stands open before you. It may feel narrow. It may feel fragile, but it has not yet closed. This door is called mercy, and though many have walked past it unaware, it remains a sign of God's patience and his unfailing love. Mercy is not weakness. Mercy is power restrained, judgment delayed, and love extended. Every time you woke to a new morning, mercy was already waiting for you. Every breath you have taken has been surrounded by the unseen covering of mercy. It is the reason your failures did not bury you, the reason your mistakes did not define you, the reason you are still here. The Apostle Paul reminds us in his letter to the Romans, chapter 2, verse 4, do you not realize that God's kindness is intended to lead you to repentance? This is the heart of mercy. It does not exist to excuse sin, but to awaken hearts. Mercy is the pause before the storm, the gentle hand pulling you back from a cliff's edge. It is not absence of truth, it is the doorway through which truth can transform. Think of the days Noah built the ark. The door of the ark stood open for years while he worked. People mocked, laughed, and dismissed his warnings. The rain had not yet come, and so they lived as though judgment would never arrive. Yet when the first drops began to fall, The open door became the only lifeline. Those who ignored it found themselves on the wrong side when it shut. So it is with you, chosen one. Mercy has been your open door. For every season of rebellion, for every time you wandered, that door stood wide, not because you earned it, but because love refused to let you go. And even now, as you listen, that same love is extending one more chance to walk through. I once heard the story of a woman who had drifted far from faith. She hardened her heart, lived only for herself, and ignored every whisper of God. But late one night, overwhelmed with emptiness, she stumbled onto a message like this one. Something in it pierced her heart. She broke down in tears, realizing she had been running from mercy all along. That night, she chose to return, and her life was never the same. She later said, "It wasn't judgment that turned me. It was mercy. All chosen one." This is the weight of the moment you are in. Mercy is still here, but it will not always linger. The scriptures speak of a day when mercy steps aside and justice takes its place. That day is not yet, but the warning is real. To treat mercy as casual is to gamble with eternity. Picture standing on a shoreline as the tide begins to rise. At first, it seems slow, harmless, but step by step the water creeps higher, until the sand you trusted is swallowed. Mercy is the shoreline. It is solid now, but it will not stay open forever. One day, the tide of judgment will rise, and the only safe ground will be the place you stand if you walked through the door while it was open. Let this truth anchor in you. Conviction is not punishment. It is a gift. To feel the stirring in your spirit is proof that mercy is calling your name. The danger is not in being convicted. The danger is in feeling nothing at all. Chosen one. The door of mercy still stands, and though time presses forward, this moment is proof that it has not shut yet. Do not despise the gift of delay. It is your chance, your invitation, your lifeline. There are seasons when everything hinges on a single step, a step of obedience, a step of surrender, a step of faith. You may feel as though you have been circling the same mountain for years, waiting for change, longing for breakthrough. But often, what separates waiting from fulfillment is one decision, one step forward into the unknown. Think of Joshua standing at the edge of the Jordan River. The promise of the land lay just beyond, yet the waters raged before them. God did not part the waters first. Instead, He commanded the priests to step into the flood while it was still flowing. It was only when their feet touched the river's edge that the waters rolled back. The miracle was waiting, but it required movement. In the book of Joshua, chapter 1, verse 9, it is written, "Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. For the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." And this is the call over your life. Strength and courage are not feelings, they are choices. Courage does not wait for fear to disappear. It walks forward in spite of it. Strength is not the absence of weakness, it is the resolve to move anyway. Trusting the one who walks beside you. Perhaps you have been asking God for a sign, a confirmation, a clear map of the future. Yet often, heaven answers with a whisper, "Take the step first, and the way will open." Just like the Jordan, your breakthrough may not come until you move. Waiting for certainty can keep you frozen. Obedience unlocks clarity. I once knew of a chosen one who delayed their calling for years. They wanted every detail before they acted. They prayed for open doors, but hesitated at each threshold. Yet the moment they finally said yes, even with trembling hands, the doors began to swing wide. Opportunities appeared that had been hidden before. Their obedience had been the missing key. Obedience is rarely convenient. It often asks you to leave behind comfort, to walk away from what feels safe. Abraham left his homeland, not knowing where he was going, only that God had called. Peter stepped out of the boat onto waters that could not hold him. Each step looked impossible, yet each became history's testimony of faith. Think of your own life. What step have you been hesitating to take? Is it forgiveness you have withheld, a calling you have resisted, a change you fear might cost too much? Heaven is not asking you to see the whole path, only to take the next step. Imagine standing before a locked gate. You shake it, but it will not open. Then you realize a key has been in your pocket all along. The gate was never sealed. It only needed the courage to use the key. That is what obedience is, the key you already hold. The gate is waiting for you to turn it. And here is the wonder. When you take that one step, heaven moves with you. The waters part. The gates swing. The mountains shift. What once seemed immovable begins to bend under the weight of God's hand. But none of it begins until you move. Chosen one. You are one step away from destiny. The waiting season was never meant to last forever. It was meant to prepare you for the moment you would finally move. That moment is now. The weight of destiny presses on you now. You have waited. You have endured. And you have been prepared. But this is not a season to stay silent. It is a season to respond. Heaven is not only speaking, it is listening for your reply. Think of Samuel as a boy lying in the temple. He heard his name called. But at first, he did not recognize the voice. Only when he finally said, "Speak, for your servant is listening," did the encounter truly begin. It was his response that unlocked the flow of revelation. So it is with you. God is speaking, but he is also waiting to hear your words. The apostle reminds us in his first letter to the Corinthians, chapter 2, verse 9, "What no eye has seen, what no ear has heard, and what no human mind has conceived, the things God has prepared for those." This is not a vague promise. It is a declaration that your future is beyond imagination. Yet to step into what is unseen, you must give voice to your faith. Silent agreement has power, but spoken alignment carries authority. Words can bind or release, and heaven listens closely when a chosen one speaks. There was once a man who endured years of struggle. His prayers were constant, but his heart felt heavy with doubt. One day, instead of asking again, he chose to declare aloud, "God, I trust you." That single sentence shifted something inside him. It was simple, but it carried weight. From that day forward, he walked lighter, with clarity he had not known before. His declaration became the hinge that turned his life toward destiny. Your declaration carries the same potential. It does not need to be long or eloquent. It only needs to be real. So I invite you to write these words in the comments. Here I stand. Oh, type it not for me, but as a mark in your own journey. It is a line drawn in the sand, a refusal to retreat any longer. When you say, "Here I stand," you silence hesitation. You break agreement with fear, and you declare that your position is rooted in divine strength, immovable and unshaken. Think of it as planting a flag at the edge of a new land. That flag may look small, but it claims territory. It tells every enemy that this ground has been taken. Your declaration does the same. It claims your future, your calling, your alignment with heaven. Chosen one. This moment is not about passively listening. It is about active response. The words you write today echo into tomorrow. Let your voice be heard. Let your faith be seen. And let heaven record your choice. When you declare, "Here I stand," you are doing more than typing words. You are aligning yourself with the posture of faith warriors across generations. From Daniel in the lion's den to Paul in the prison cell. Each one chose to stand firm when the world tried to break them. Your declaration also marks territory in the unseen realm. It tells every lie, every fear, every shadow that you will not move from what God has spoken over you. It is your refusal to bend under pressure and your decision to anchor yourself in truth. And finally, it is a commitment to yourself. Every time you feel doubt, whisper again. You will remember this moment. You will recall what you wrote, what you chose, and what you stood for. That memory will fuel your courage when the next test comes, reminding you, you did not bow, you stood. There is a crown waiting for you, not a fragile ornament crafted by human hands, but a crown woven with glory, endurance, and eternal reward. Heaven has seen your struggles, your hidden sacrifices, the way you continued, even when no one clapped for you. And all of it is being shaped into a crown that no one can take away. Think of a runner who presses on through exhaustion, muscles ache, lungs burn. Yet the finish line keeps pulling them forward. The crowd may not notice each step, but every stride matters. And when the medal is placed around their neck, all the pain finds its purpose. Your life is that race. The endurance you've carried will one day be crowned with victory. It is written in the book of Isaiah, chapter 62, verse 3. You will be a crown of splendor in the Lord's hand. Ahoyao jiading in the hand of your God. This is no ordinary promise. It does not only say you will receive a crown, it says you are a crown, precious and radiant, in the very hand of God. Imagine that, your life, with all its scars and triumphs, is being lifted as a royal diadem, a symbol of glory in heaven's palm. I once heard the story of a chosen one who spent years working quietly behind the scenes. They were overlooked, underestimated, and rarely thanked, yet they never stopped serving. Years later, the very people who once ignored them turned back and said, "We see now what you carried." That recognition was sweet, but even sweeter was the peace of knowing heaven had already prepared their reward. Your journey is like the shaping of a crown in fire. Gold is not beautiful when first pulled from the earth. It must pass through flames, hammered and refined. The heat looks destructive, but it reveals brilliance. In the same way, the fire you've endured has not destroyed you. It has been shaping your crown. Picture your story as a tree. In spring, blossoms catch everyone's eye, but the crown of fruit does not appear until after storms, after winds, after summer heat. The crown is the final sign that the roots held, the branches endured, and the seasons did not break it. That is the fruit you are carrying, the testimony your life will display. And now, I want to speak to you with an image of choice. Imagine your crown already prepared, shining in heaven's treasury. Each time you like, it is as though you are polishing that crown, affirming that you recognize its worth. Each time you share, it is like offering a glimpse of that crown to another weary traveler, showing them that reward awaits. And when you subscribe, it is like placing your crown carefully on a stand, saying, "I will not forget what belongs to me, and I will keep it in sight until the day I wear it." These actions are not duties, they are gentle gestures of agreement, ways of saying, "I will value my crown. I will remind others they too are crowned. I will walk with my eyes fixed on what is eternal." Chosen one, your crown awaits. It is not slipping away. It is not fragile. It is secure in the hands of the one who promised it. Walk forward knowing every sacrifice, every tear, and every act of faith is adding weight to the glory that will one day rest upon your head. Every battle you have faced has whispered the same lie: you will not make it. Yet every time, you are still here. And that survival is not accidental, it is the mark of divine protection. Though weapons have been raised against you, though words have been spoken to wound you, though circumstances have threatened to overwhelm you, the truth is unshaken, none of it has prospered. This is not to say you have not felt the blows. You have. The sting of betrayal, the heaviness of disappointment, the sharp edge of loss. Each one left a mark, but they did not end you. They could not end you. What was sent to destroy you became the very tool that revealed your resilience. Scripture says in the book of Isaiah, chapter 54, verse 17, "No weapon forged against you will prevail, and you will refute every tongue that accuses you. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and this is their vindication from me, declares the Lord." Oh, notice the word heritage. Protection is not a temporary covering, it is your inheritance. Just as a child inherits their parent's name, you have inherited divine defense. The weapons may be real, but they are powerless against the shield of heaven. The accusations may sting, but your vindication is secured by the one who knows every truth. Think of a fortress on a hill. Enemies may surround it. Arrows may rain upon it. Yet the walls stand firm because they were built on rock. That fortress is your life in God. The storms have beaten against you, but your foundation has held. You did not endure because you were unshakable by nature. You endured because your defender never abandoned his post. There was once a chosen one who faced relentless opposition. Rumors swirled. Opportunities were stolen, and betrayal cut deep. Yet, time after time, they were preserved. The very people who had tried to undermine them were forced to watch as they rose higher, carried by favor they could not explain. Looking back, they realized it was not their own strength, but God's shield that kept them intact. Weapons formed against you may take many shapes. Sometimes it is sickness, sometimes slander, sometimes fear that whispers in the dark. But each time, God has proven faithful. The sickness did not consume you. The slander did not define you. The fear did not silence you. And each time you rose again, it was proof that the promise of Isaiah 54:17 is alive in you. Imagine yourself as a tree planted beside a river. Storms bend its branches, Lightning may scar its trunk, yet its roots remain firm because the waters never stop flowing. That is your life. Scarred, perhaps, weathered, yes, but still standing, still nourished, still alive. And the scars themselves have become testimonies of survival. Chosen one. This is your heritage. You are untouchable in the ways that truly matter. Your spirit cannot be crushed. Your destiny cannot be erased. Your future cannot be stolen. The weapons may come, but they cannot prevail. So, walk forward with this assurance. You are covered. Not lightly, not temporarily, but eternally. God's shield has not left you. His protection has not weakened. And as long as you stand in His covering, nothing sent against you will ever prosper. Let this truth anchor your heart. You are not fragile prey, but a fortified vessel. Heaven's defense surrounds you, and nothing fashioned in darkness can overturn what God has sealed. There are moments when God calls you to mark a shift with a sign, not because He needs the sign, but because you do. It becomes an anchor in your memory, a visible testimony of the invisible work happening in your spirit. Right now is such a moment throughout Scripture. Numbers have carried prophetic meaning. They are not random. They are woven with patterns and promises. 7 is completion. 12 is order. 40 is testing. And when God repeats a number, it is His way of underscoring its weight. In this season, He is pressing a number upon your spirit that signals new alignment. The Apostle Paul wrote in the letter to the Hebrews, chapter 10, verse 23, "Let us hold unswervingly to the hope we profess. For He who promised is faithful." Uncreate, hope is not fragile. It is a rope tied to the throne of God. And when you declare it, when you mark it, you strengthen your own grip. Think of Jacob in Genesis. He wrestled all night until dawn. And when the blessing came, he marked the place as Peniel, saying, "I saw God face to face, and yet my life was spared." He gave the encounter a name so he would never forget. In the same way, when you write, speak, or mark what God has done, you create a memorial that outlasts the moment. Imagine your life as a journey across a desert. Along the way, you place stones to remember where water once flowed. Each stone becomes a reminder that sustains you when the path feels dry again. This prophetic act we are about to make is one of those stones. So I invite you now, write the number 555 inches the comments. This number speaks of grace multiplied, favor overflowing, and divine hands rearranging what seemed impossible. 5 has long represented grace, and when it is tripled, it declares abundance that cannot be measured. By writing 555, you are not just typing digits, you are declaring, grace surrounds me, grace strengthens me, grace will carry me into the next chapter. Emily, there was a chosen one who once felt paralyzed by shame. Every failure replayed in their mind like a cruel song. But when they grasped the reality of grace, it was like chains falling. They marked that moment, and each time doubt returned. They reminded themselves, grace is greater. Their future unfolded not because they were flawless, but because grace refused to let go. That same grace is here for you now. And your act of faith, as simple as typing 555, is a way of saying, I believe grace has found me. I believe favor is overflowing. I believe what once was impossible is being rearranged for my good. Devon 2, Chosen One. Let this number be a testimony written not just in comments, but in your heart. For the God who promised is faithful, and His grace is more than enough. When you choose to write 555, you are not obeying an empty ritual, you are echoing a truth heaven has already declared. It is your agreement with grace's power. Each 5 is like a pillar. The first pillar is the grace that saved you. The second is the grace that sustains you. The third is the grace that will carry you into tomorrow. Together, they form a doorway you can walk through with confidence. So let this act settle in your heart. You are stepping into multiplied grace, not just enough to survive, but overflowing grace to thrive, to rebuild, to rise. Your journey has never been only about you. The battles you faced, the tears you cried, the lessons you carried, all of it was shaping you into a guide for others. You may not see it yet, but the light within you is not meant to remain hidden. It is a torch that will lead others out of their own darkness. Consider the story of Israel in the wilderness. They wandered for 40 years, often doubting, often stumbling. Yet, even in their wandering, a cloud by day and a fire by night led them. That light was not just for direction, it was a constant reminder that God's presence was with them. In the same way, your life has become a signpost. Your scars tell stories. Your endurance gives direction. And your light reveals a path others did not know existed. The prophet Isaiah wrote, chapter 60, verse 1, Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you. Oh, notice that the command is not simply to shine, but to arise and shine. Rising always comes first. To shine means nothing if you stay low, hidden in shadows. But when you rise, even trembling, your light becomes visible, and others can see the way forward. There was once a chosen one who lived through years of silence and waiting. They felt unseen, unheard, and unworthy. But when their breakthrough came, something remarkable happened. People who had been struggling in silence came to them for hope. Their testimony became a map for others. What once felt like wasted years became the very story that guided many out of despair. Think of a lighthouse on a cliff. It does not chase ships. It does not shout across the waters. It simply stands firm, letting its beam sweep across the sea. For sailors lost in storms, that single light is life. Your story, your perseverance, your faith is like that lighthouse. Without realizing it, you are already guiding people who are watching you, even from a distance. Sometimes your influence will not be visible right away. You may not hear the gratitude. You may not know the lives touched. But light is not measured by applause. It is measured by the darkness it drives away. And one day, you will stand before God and see the countless lives your light helped steer away from wreckage. Your struggles gave you empathy. Your wounds gave you compassion. Your endurance gave you wisdom. All of these are now tools for leading others. Do not despise them. They are the very things that qualify you to guide. Imagine walking through a cave. Torch in hand. The way is narrow, the air thick, and fear hangs heavy. Behind you are others, too afraid to move. But as you lift your torch higher, shadows retreat, and they begin to follow. You are not just walking for yourself, you are carving a way for those who will come after. Chosen one, your light is not for you alone. It is for the broken, the weary, the ones who cannot yet see. Your journey has been preparation, not punishment. Every step has been training for the moment you become the guide, the torch-bearer, the one others will follow into freedom. So lift your torch without fear. The light entrusted to you was never meant to flicker in secret. It was meant to blaze openly. And as you walk, others will find courage to follow the path you illuminate. There is a sobering truth that cannot be avoided. Mercy does not linger forever. For every open door, there comes a time when it closes. For every opportunity extended, there is a moment when the offer is withdrawn. This is not to stir fear, but to awaken urgency. Scripture is filled with warnings of what happens when people delay, when hearts harden, when ears grow deaf to the voice of God. Pharaoh heard the command through Moses again and again, "Let my people go." Yet each time he resisted. His heart calcified a little more. In the end, it was not that God refused to act, it was that Pharaoh refused to bend. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Hosea. Chapter 4, verse 6. My people are destroyed from lack of knowledge. Because you have rejected knowledge, I also reject you as my priests, because you have ignored the law of your God. I also will ignore your children. And this is not merely history, it is warning. To ignore, to delay, to push away the truth when it comes, is to risk blindness that becomes permanent. Conviction is a gift, but when ignored repeatedly, its voice grows fainter until it may not be heard at all. Think of a candle flickering in the night. At first, its flame burns brightly, but if it is neglected, if the wind is not shielded, if the wick is not trimmed, the flame weakens. Eventually, it disappears, and darkness swallows the space. That is what happens when hearts turn repeatedly away from light. It is not that the flame lacked power, it is that it was not protected. There was a chosen one who once walked closely with God, filled with fire and joy. But small compromises crept in, tiny delays, small disobediences. Each seemed harmless at first, yet little by little, the fire dimmed until only ashes remained. It was not one great fall that extinguished the flame, but 1,000 tiny refusals to respond when God whispered. Looking back, they wept, not because God had abandoned them, but because they had hardened themselves against His voice. Chosen one, this is the tension of the hour you live in. Mercy is abundant, but it is not endless. To stand still in disobedience is to drift backward without realizing it. The edge of blindness comes quietly, one step at a time, until suddenly the light that once felt so clear seems distant. Picture standing on a cliff. Our step back feels small, insignificant, but soon the ground behind you disappears, and one more step seals your fall. That is what spiritual delay does. It moves you inch by inch until the cliff edge gives way beneath your feet. Yet here is the mercy. You are being warned before the fall. You are being reminded while conviction still burns. That unease you feel when you wander is proof that mercy has not withdrawn. The very fact you can hear this message is evidence that blindness has not yet overtaken you. This is the final warning before the shift. Treat it with the weight it deserves. For when conviction fades, when blindness sets in, when mercy finally steps back, No sacrifice for sins remains. What remains is only silence. And silence is the most terrifying judgment of all. Chosen one, let this truth echo in your soul. Do not harden your heart. Do not treat lightly the voice of mercy while it still speaks. For the day is coming when delay will no longer be possible, and only those who responded will stand secure. Rise, chosen one. Rise. You have walked through valleys, endured silence, carried burdens, and faced storms. Yet, here you are, not broken, not erased, but standing. Heaven has been shaping you for this moment, a moment to lift your head, square your shoulders, and step fully into the calling that has always been yours. Think of a seed pressed deep into the soil. For months, nothing is seen. Darkness surrounds it. Weight buries it. And yet unseen, a miracle is happening. Roots are spreading. Strength is building. Then, one day, it breaks through the surface and reaches for the sun. That seed's hidden labor becomes its rising. You are that seed. What was buried in silence is now ready to rise in brilliance. The Apostle Paul wrote in the letter to the Ephesians, chapter 2, verse 10, "For we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do." This is your identity. You are not random, not misplaced. You are designed, crafted, purposed. Every trial refined you. Every delay carved depth into you. Every pain shaped your heart for what lies ahead. You are not behind schedule. You are exactly on time for heaven's design. There was once a chosen one who believed they were too late. Life had passed them by. Doors had closed. Opportunities had been missed. But when they finally surrendered, a flood of new beginnings opened. Looking back, they realized nothing had been wasted. Even their detours became part of the design. Their rising came not when they forced it, but when they trusted it was time. Rising does not mean life will suddenly be easy. It means you stand with courage when winds push against you. It means your voice becomes steady when others tremble. It means you live as though light truly dwells within you. Rising is not comfort, it is courage. And courage has always been the mark of the chosen. Now, let me place this moment before you with an image. Imagine your life as a lantern glowing in the night. Its flame flickers, but it does not die. When you choose to like, it is as if you place fresh oil inside, helping the flame shine stronger. When you share, it is like lifting your lantern higher, so travelers stumbling in the dark can see the path you've found. And when you subscribe, it is like joining your lantern with many others, forming a constellation across the night sky, each light unique, but together making the heavens radiant. And one more act, as simple as words. When you leave a comment, it is like etching your name on the stone of remembrance. It is your way of saying, I was here, I rose, I chose my place among the light bearers. None of this is obligation. It is invitation. You are free to hold your lantern close, or you can raise it high. But when you choose to lift it, others will see, and they too will rise. So rise, chosen one. Rise, lift your lantern. Let the night see what heaven has placed within you. And when your words appear beneath this message, they are not just digital marks. They are like seeds pressed into soil, silent now, but destined to grow into a testimony that others will one day read and draw strength from. So rise, not only for yourself, but for the countless hearts watching from the shadows. Your lantern is proof that darkness never wins. There comes a point when the fire inside you can no longer be hidden. You have endured seasons of waiting, of testing, of silence. You have carried scars that few understood, walked through storms that nearly broke you. And yet, here you are, standing. What you may not fully see is that those very trials have made you unstoppable. Unstoppable does not mean you feel strong every day. It does not mean you never stumble. It means that nothing, no failure, no opposition, no attack has been able to erase the calling God placed on your life. You have been pressed, but not crushed, knocked down, boot, not destroyed. Even in your lowest moments, the fire has continued to burn. The Apostle Paul wrote in his second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 4, verse 8 and 9, "We are hard-pressed on every side, but not crushed, perplexed, but not in despair, persecuted, but not abandoned, struck down, not destroyed." This is the anthem of the chosen ones, not the absence of struggle, but the persistence of purpose. The very fact that you are still here is evidence that God has preserved you for a reason beyond yourself. Think of tempered steel. When raw, it is brittle and breaks under pressure. But after being placed in the fire and hammered again and again, it becomes stronger than before. That is what has happened in your life. Every flame, every strike, every test has transformed you into someone unshakable. There was once a chosen one who lost nearly everything: family, work, reputation. For a time, it seemed as if their story was over. But deep inside, something refused to die. Slowly, they began again. Every small step built momentum until they became a testimony of resilience. People who once pitied them began to ask, "How are you still standing?" Their answer was simple: "Because God did not let me fall." You, too, carry that same unstoppable nature, not because of your own strength, but because of the one who has carried you. You are like a river cutting through rock, slow at times, unseen at times, but never ceasing, never silenced. Over time, even the hardest stone gives way to flowing water. Imagine a phoenix rising from ashes. Fire consumed everything it knew. But instead of ending, it began again stronger, brighter, more radiant. That is what heaven sees when it looks at you. The ashes of your past do not define you. The rising does. Unstoppable also means your influence is greater than you realize. Others may have doubted you, counted you out, or spoken against you. But the more they pushed, the more you rose, like Joseph in prison, like Daniel in exile. Your story proves that no cage can hold the chosen one. Hear this clearly. Your endurance is not ordinary. Your survival is not luck. You are a living testimony that God's power sustains His people. When you could have broken, you were held. When you could have given up, you were lifted. When you could have vanished into obscurity, your name was preserved. You are unstoppable because you are not moving in your own strength, but in the strength of the one who called you, and no force in heaven or earth can cancel what He has decreed. So step forward with courage. Let the world see not just that you survived, but that you thrive, for your very existence is proof that nothing formed against you has prevailed, and nothing ever will. From the very beginning of your journey, heaven has marked you. Through every valley, every storm, every season of waiting, that mark has never faded. You are not ordinary, not forgotten, not misplaced. You are chosen, and you are marked for glory. Glory is not simply the honor of being seen, it is the weight of God's presence resting upon your life. It is the evidence of His hand shaping your story. Glory shines, not in the absence of suffering, but in the way suffering cannot extinguish hope. It is the quiet radiance that others notice, even if you do not. The prophet Haggai declared, chapter 2, verse 9, "The glory of this present house will be greater than the glory of the former house, says the Lord Almighty, and in this place I will grant peace." These words echo into your story. What lies ahead of you is greater than what lies behind. The former seasons, though painful, were foundations. The future seasons, though unknown, will be filled with greater glory. And along with that glory comes peace, not the fragile peace of circumstance, but the deep peace of God's presence anchoring your soul. Think of gold refined in fire. The heat intensifies, the impurities rise, and only then does the true brilliance appear. That is what has been happening in your life. The fires you endured did not consume you. They revealed the purity of what was already inside you. There was a chosen one who believed their best years were gone. Life had dealt them blow after blow, leaving them weary. But as they leaned into God, something remarkable unfolded. New opportunities bloomed. Their influence grew wider than it ever had in youth. They realized the promise of Haggai was true. The latter glory was greater. Their story had not ended. It had just begun again, brighter than before. Imagine a sunrise cresting over a mountain. The long night, filled with shadows and silence, gives way to light spilling over the horizon. That light is not timid. It floods valleys, awakens forests, and calls life to bloom. This is the picture of your rising. The night has been long, but the dawn is breaking, and glory is spreading across your path. Being marked for glory also means you will carry peace into places of chaos. Others will be drawn not only to your strength, but to the calm that surrounds you. Like a harbor that shelters ships in the storm, your presence will bring rest to weary souls. What God has placed in you is not just for your own story, it is for those around you. And do not forget, glory is not a moment, it is a journey. It deepens with every step of obedience, every act of love, every choice to keep walking in faith. Glory is not about recognition, it is about reflection, your life reflecting the one who chose you. Chosen one. The mark of God rests upon you. Your path may twist, the winds may howl, but the destination is certain. Glory. Not fleeting glory, not human applause, but eternal weight, radiant and unshakable. So walk boldly now. The night has passed, the dawn has come, and you step forward, crowned not just with survival, but with glory that will shine forever. Your story does not close in shadows, but in radiance. Carry this truth. You are chosen. You are marked, and your glory will echo long after the darkness fades. Chosen one. You have reached the end of this message, but not the end of your journey. What you have heard has been more than words. It has been a reminder, a stirring, a call. You are chosen. You are seen. You are marked for something greater than you could have imagined. Think of a flame carried through the night, alone. It flickers, but endure. But when joined with other flames, it becomes a fire that cannot be ignored. That is what happens when you choose to step forward, not just for yourself, but for others who need your light. So I extend to you a gentle invitation. When you like this message, it is as though you breathe air onto the flame, letting it glow brighter. When you share, it is like releasing a lantern into the night sky. Your light rises, drifts outward, and becomes a beacon for someone searching in the darkness. When you subscribe, it is like deciding to keep walking together on this path, so that each new word of encouragement finds you at just the right moment. And when you leave a comment, it becomes your stone of remembrance, a written testimony that you stood here, heard heaven's whisper, and said, yes, these are not chores, but acts of alignment. They are ways of saying, I choose to keep my flame alive, and I choose to let it light others. So let your heart decide, and let your hand follow. Lift your flame, leave your mark, and join the constellation of chosen ones shining across the world. This is not the end. It is only the beginning.